Yeah, that would be Brendon making noise during the.
Did it make noise?
Yeah.
My bad. My bad. Just the slightest little.
Yeah. See, these things are called microphones, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And what they do is they pick up noise.
They don't make noise?
No, they just
That's me making noise.
There it is. Yep.
Oh fuck! I thought they were just decoration and kind of cool sculptures.
I mean, they make me look like a podcaster, so that's cool.
That always helps.
Yeah. So how you been, Brendon? What's been going on?
Not bad. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's all I can ask for sometimes. Go ahead and pull that microphone close to you. I need you. Yeah, see that thing I was talking about earlier? There we go. Yeah.
See, I'm trying to stay away from the table so I don't make more noise.
It's okay. Now we want you to make noise.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, mouth noises.
Okay. That term. Out of context.
Well, let's keep it in context, shall we?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Right before we hit the record button, we were talking about X-Men 97, which is an interesting name for that show.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they went with that, but they're trying to.
Well, it's weird that they're doing a continuation rather than just starting over. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Like, should they just reboot it?
I get it, but they've rebooted it so many times that no one would probably pay attention.
Have they?
Yeah, they've got you got X-Men Evolution.
Okay.
Like, a little bit after.
That doesn't really seem like a. I mean, it seems like its own thing.
Yeah, it's like a reboot type thing.
Yeah.
And it's like that was kind of weird.
But
like
the problem is that like even X-Men Evolution or like Wolverine and the X-Men, like that TV show, like even those. They never garnered the popularity of X-Men.
Sorry, I got distracted about thinking about Rogue from X-Men Evolution.
Was that was my Rogue was from X-Men?
Oh no, yeah,
94.
94 is up is above that. But go back and look at Evolution Rogue. Yeah,
I'm not into high school chicks anymore, Brandon. I don't know what to tell you.
Damn. I'm not a high school chick. Now I feel just dirty.
Yeah, it's been a few decades now, actually.
So she's not in high school anymore.
Huh?
She's not in high school anymore.
She isn't there.
Anyway, I'm gonna move right past that.
Yeah, that's like looking at like an old high school yearbook from
I was in high school or even younger at the time. So
we're not talking about that. We're talking about now.
I'm remembering from when I was that age.
If you go and look at
it's not as creepy.
If you go and look at like a high school yearbook from 20 years ago and be like,
she was like 18 or 19.
Who what dumbass is 19 still in high school?
I knew a lot of dumbasses still. I was still at 18.
I wanted to be known. I graduated at 17.
I was,
smarty pants over here,
Fucking nerd. I got held back in elementary school.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Shapes
I didn't fail.
Shapes are hard, Brandon. I get it.
What? What is this shape? Does triangle go into the circle?
Yeah, we were talking about X-Men 97 anyway.
Yeah, already off the rails.
Yeah. So do you think it's a better approach for them to continue it, or do you think they should try to reboot?
I mean, like I said, I get why they're doing it, and I think, if I remember right, the ending was kind of weird.
It was a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, so I think
Professor
they're just
X
going
was
off
dead.
that.
Yeah, I mean, but still, so for them to do what they're doing, and I need Disney to understand this, for them to continue where X-Men animated series left off at, that means that they are making this for our generation.
Yes.
This is for millennials and like the younger Gen Xers. Because we were the ones who were watching that as it came out episodically, weekly, every Saturday.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every week anyway.
So, with that being said, when I watch this, I expect this to have the same kind of tone, the same kind of reverence that the 97 animated series had. And I mean, if it doesn't, then what's the point,
Yeah. Money.
Well,
I mean, they know they're going to get those initial views.
They will, and because it's the X-Men, people are going to watch no matter what. You know, they're just that popular. So this is kind of a win-win situation for Marvel. That has me even more terrified because, like, with all of Marvel's previous failings, they have felt it. You know, because people have voiced it, and then people stopped watching their shit. Yeah, and then it hurt them. Yeah. Bob Iger came out and said something about it recently because he had to. Yeah, I mean, he said a bunch of nothing, but he still had to come out and say something.
He mentioned how like that no one is wanting to see the new movies. Like like that he wants to make, instead of going after messaging, he wants to make good stories.
And so here's the thing, right? That for A, that's common fucking sense, and B, I don't believe him.
What do you mean you don't believe the billionaire fucking executive saying just shit that we want to hear? Yes. Why fuck no?
But it's exactly that. He just says shit that we want to hear, but it's still going to be about, you know, and you know, like
possibly pushing agendas instead of storytelling, which is, I mean, I don't mind messaging, but
I don't think any person with like a beating heart minds messaging. Yeah. You know, it's just subtlety, nuance, and proper storytelling that has to trump everything else to make the messaging mean something. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you don't have any of that, then you get drivel. But it's a lot of things. It's not just like the DEI scores and all that they, you know, that's kind of fucking up Marvel. It's everything. It's the lack of proper characterization uses. Like, for example, I don't want to pick on the Marvels any more than it's been picked on. But
Caleb's gonna come after you.
Ooh, the one person who liked the movie is gonna come after me. I'm so scared. That one person mob is gonna come after me.
Damn.
But you know, it's like, as much as I disdain Captain Marvel 1, they were smart to put that movie where it was placed.
Yeah. Oh, they knew exactly what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. They sandwiched it between two of the biggest movies of all time and said, look, it made $1 billion.
We all fell for it.
Everyone fell for it.
All fell for it.
Hook, line, and
sinker. But we didn't know.
We
were ignorant. We were hopeful. We had dreams.
They made us feel like we needed to watch that movie, and we didn't. And with
still mad. I'm still mad about Nick Fury.
Oh, well,
I'm like, I get it. And I love cats. You know, I love animals. And it was an alien cat. But what the fuck?
It's a goddamn flirt.
All those years of wondering what happened to his eye. Mm-hmm. So what happened in the comics? Like
to Nick Fury's eye?
Yeah, did they explain?
That is a good question. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah. Like in any version of him, I'm not sure what happened to his eye.
You have his dad, and then you got Nick Fury Jr. now. Is that?
We don't need.
I'm sorry, that's a Pandora's box. I don't know if I want to open.
We don't need to go off on a Nick Fury tangent. But for those of you who want to know about Nick Fury, like why, you know,
retcon that, was that a retcon?
Well, so originally, you know, he went from looking like David Hasselhoff to Sam Jackson, and like, you know, the original Nick Fury, you know, the White Fury. The last time, you know, he was around during like the days of the Howling Commandos back during World War II with Cap and Wolverine. Yeah, you know, he was alive back then, and he took something called the Fury formula, which prolonged his life. But then we go all the way to like 2014, around the time that the story Original Sin came out, and during that story, realized that spoiler alert. He killed Uatu, took his eyes. He wanted to be like the watcher on the wall, meaning the person who watches.
Nick Fury killed Uatu? How?
The story is fucking...
He's just a guy.
The story's bonkers. But coming to find out, the Nick Fury that we have been seeing for all these years was just an LMD, like model decoy. The real Nick Fury, the Fury formula had worn out years ago. He was an old, decrepit man. And... And he died shortly thereafter. There was like you have to go back and read the story.
Canon?
This is canon. Original Sin is canon. But this is how they wrote off that Nick Fury. And so here's the thing, right? Around the same time,
I swear to fucking God,
you go over to the Ultimate Marvel Comics universe, and that's where we get the Sam Jackson Nick Fury. And
wasn't he literally like
he was
modeled
literally
after Sam Jackson?
Modeled after Sam Jackson. And this was around the year 2000 when the Ultimate Comics first kicked off, and I really also enjoyed that version of Nick Fury as well. Here's the problem, though: that Nick Fury in the Ultimate comic books is not the current Nick Fury in Marvel Comics.
What
the Nick Fury we have now in Marvel Comics is, as you mentioned it, Nick Fury Jr. It is the son of white Nick Fury. And so instead of just bringing over the Sam Jackson Fury,
I thought they went back and like this Sam Jackson Nick Fury is really the son of the old white Nick Fury.
They're from different universes.
But I thought they brought over
They brought over Miles Morales.
That's his name.
And they brought over the Maker, the evil Reed Richards.
Yeah, I thought that they did a similar thing.
They should have.
Why make a whole different character that's the same character?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why they did have the shit they did. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that's your Nick Fury lesson for today.
I understand why you didn't want to go into that. That's some stupid shit. God damn it, Marvel. What the actual fuck?
Whoever said knowledge is power was a goddamn liar.
Especially when it comes to ignorance is fucking bliss, bro. The story I had in my head was a lot fucking better.
Oh, yeah. For
Son
sure.
of a bitch. Now I'm just sad.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kind of confused and a lot of emotions.
Well, just like a lot of things now, I just pretend that the Nick Fury we have now is the Sam Jackson Nick Fury.
I refuse your reality and substitute my own.
I do the same thing with like Wanda and Pietro. Like they are the children of Magneto. I don't give a shit what Marvel says.
I knew there was some kind of weird things that happened there. I should stop asking questions.
Okay, so another sidebar here.
Fuck.
So back during the days of Ike Perlmutter, who was basically the head of the television department of Marvel, and he was also over Marvel Comics for some time. And at a period, he co-ran the MCU with Kevin Feige. Back during that time frame, it became obvious that Marvel Disney was not going to reacquire the rights of the X-Men from Fox, and so because he was over Marvel Comics, he made the executive decision to basically shelve the Fantastic Four, shelve the mutants, let's push the Inhumans, and that's along the same time that we got the Inhuman TV show. And another thing that he did was he wanted to distance Pietro and Wanda from Magneto, because obviously the MCU couldn't use Magneto, and they were about to use Wanda and Pietro in Age of Ultron.
But why did they have the rights to Pietro and Wanda?
So they actually got lawyers, to do this kind of litigation. I'm like, you guys just could have got me. But they did that because Wanda and Pietro, they made their first appearance in the Avengers comic books. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So even though they were mutants, they made their first appearance.
I just knew
Avengers.
them initially until like the whole MCU started. I knew them from the Brotherhood of Mutants, or the evil Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah.
And that's what I knew them from. And I just thought that's what they were. Like they were the kids of Magneto.
Right.
You got fucking Speed Guy and Witch Lady.
Yep. Yeah, great names. Put your goddamn phone on silent, Brendon.
You're right. That's my bad.
My goodness. The things that you should know by now, I tell you.
I mean, there's a lot that I should know by now that I do not, sir. Sir.
So I was going to go into this whole little monologue or speech about Zack Snyder and his recent appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast. If you guys haven't seen that or heard it, it's really good. There's a lot of really insightful things that were spoken there, and I had a blast listening to it. But I was going to specifically talk about the thing that had recently blown up on the internet, and that is not Joss, Jesus Christ, Zack Snyder talking. Man, that's a Freudian slip if I ever fucking heard one. Really? God damn.
Yeah, that was weird.
Hell of a Freudian slip. But Zack Snyder was talking about Batman and his no-cure rule and why he thinks they should get rid of it.
I just recently,
But I'm gonna save that for a different episode, probably for the next episode actually, where I'll be talking about superhero homies rule number 1, character integrity. So I figured, you know what, that's gonna fit in perfectly there. But I wanted to take this opportunity to step outside the realms of superheroes for a while and to pay due respects to someone who definitely deserves it, and that is Akira Toriyama, the creator of the Dragon Ball universe.
Fucking legend.
Goddamn legend. He has unfortunately passed away at the age of 68, and the man left behind a tremendous legacy. I mean, what can you say?
He's an icon. Like, he surpasses anime. Like, everyone knows who that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, just the amount of work that he's done and the impact that he's left on pop culture as a whole.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just if you look at just the reach and influence of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, even GT and Super, you know, you look at just like the iconic moments, man, it hits hard, man, because like for me and probably for most people listening, like who are fans of the Dragon Ball series, like it goes back to like being a kid and seeing the show for the first time and just getting hooked. Like it hit me perfectly, you know, because I remember I was a kid, probably 10 or 11 years old when it first came to America. Mm-hmm. And it was great.
I remember being in 4th grade and everybody was obsessed with it. All the friends, and they were able to get these newer episodes and talking about the new stuff that's happening in Japan and able to get the import stuff and stuff that's happening that I don't even know what's happening. Like, I'm still on this. What are you talking about over here?
Yeah. I had the same thing. You know, there were kids in my class who also were able to, you know, get a look at the newer episodes, and they were telling me about these characters that,
talking about GT at the time.
Oh,
and
man.
Like Deborah. I'm like, what is fucking Deborah? Baby. I'm like, what is this?
And you know how like kids are, right? So like, you know, I come into school hyped because I just saw, you know, Goku turn Super Saiyan for the first time. And they're like, oh, man, you need to see Super Saiyan 4. It's way sicker than Super...
Do you remember fucking Super Saiyan 5?
Oh, yeah.
Just seeing that image going around.
That fake-ass picture that had every... Yeah.
That was the shit back in the day. We thought that was shit. I'm like, I cannot wait to see that shit. I'm like, oh my God, that looks hype as fuck. It turns out not real. It's just some guy fucking did it.
Well, not only is it not real, but it's so arbitrary. Like, okay.
We need that.
No, it's a different number and it's a different hair.
I mean, what's going on now? I mean, nothing against Toriyama.
Well, to his defense, obviously. Thankfully, before the man passed, I think he figured that shit out because Ultra Instinct is something different. Vegeta's new rage form is something different. It's not based on screaming till you hit a new hair color. That's not what it's about anymore. You know, now it's about like giving in to something else, you know, and letting that kind of...
Well, what I mean was, like, I haven't watched Super yet, so I'm behind on that, and I'm kind of ashamed of myself. But from a purely design perspective, artistic perspective, it is still more of the same. He looks more of, like, he's just looks the same, but his eye color and hair color changes. And that's about it. And there's, a new aura about him, and that's kind of, like, that's my... kind of thing of like why it's a little disappointing of what they've done comparatively to, you know, the Super Saiyan 4 or 5 and like
I mean
I'm a fan of the Super Saiyan 4 design.
For me it's about the story around it more so than like the aesthetic and for me that's why Super Saiyan 4 really never meant that much to me, you know.
Yeah. I'm a big aesthetic guy, but obviously I have not, you know, obviously, I would be attached to the story once I do watch it.
Oh, yeah. Super's fantastic. I mean, for fuck's sake, you watch GT and not Super. That's criminal.
The designs, and there's some good stuff with GT.
There are good moments in GT.
The whole Goku being young again, and that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I did not care for that.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff about it. There's some cool stuff about it too. Some hype stuff here and there.
Yeah. But overall though, man, like I think that Toriyama left a fantastic legacy. And I mean, and that's the thing, man. Like I know he was working on a couple of projects, before he passed, and I think
that's sad. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Do we know anything about him?
I've only heard a little bit about one or two of them, but I couldn't really give you any details, But I think that he has, more than enough capable predecessors to kind of continue on whatever he was doing. And, because like, I think he reached a point where like he was no longer really, he was like the overseer more than he was like the guy who was doing pen to paper every day,
Consultant.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
at that point,
you reach a level where,
Yeah, you're like Miyamoto at Nintendo.
Oh, yeah,
much.
yeah.
Like, you just, you have to give the okay, but you're not directly in the weeds and involved.
Right. So, Brandon, like, what's been one of your favorite moments from the Dragon Ball saga?
Oh, there's a lot. Obviously, you have the number one is the Frieza and Goku turning, which took 4 episodes, infamously.
Only in America, because they found ways to prolong these episodes.
Yeah.
So it probably took a little bit less time in Japan.
You think so?
I think so. I
would hope so.
Yeah, because like our shit was stretched out, you know what I mean, purposely so. They would do a lot of pause frames in America, all for the sake of delaying due to translating the episodes,
Now a question. Are you one of these people that watched it subbed or dubbed?
I was a kid, so I had to watch it dubbed.
Fair enough. Yeah. Toonami, all that. I've listened to the sub,
and I do prefer dub.
Yeah, especially with Dragon Ball. Other animes like I could take it or leave it. Yeah. I'm more of a dubbed guy because I can't read and pay attention to what's going on. I'm like, I don't want to look at words. I want to look at the screen. Just one of those people. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people, but
and who knows? Maybe if I saw the subbed version first, maybe I would prefer that. But because I grew up with the dubbed version, like I need those voices.
I can't take it seriously. I can't. Goku.
It's Goku's that's hard to take serious.
Yeah, but he's the main character.
I know.
I mean, Vegeta's fine.
Vegeta. Yeah, his Japanese voice acting is fine. And by the way, like I get it. A lot of people definitely grew up with with those voices. So for them it's the opposite.
Yeah, I like nothing against the person. I forgot her name. It's literally an older lady doing his voice because she used to do his voice in Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's different when she's voicing a 10-year-old Goku.
Yeah, that's different. He's a grown man now. Yeah. Like, it's weird hearing old lady voice coming from like this swole ass guy, this fucking yoked like guy that's stronger than like Superman or whatever. Get on that debate. But yeah, man. Like the savior of he sounds like an old lady screaming. I'm like, I can't do it.
I know.
It's too weird.
Yeah. I think for me, like, I mean, clearly I love the show from jump, like right from episode 1. But I think, like, the first moment for me where like it was iconic was during the Saiyan saga, seeing Goku versus Vegeta, specifically the Gallic Gun versus the Kaioken Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like my little 10, 11-year-old brain couldn't even handle what was going on.
Fucking hype.
Yeah.
The hype. Yeah. Like, what is happening right now?
Oh man, it looked so cool.
the amount of yelling and screaming that's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I can't handle it.
Well, like it was just like the epicness of the moment, right? The beauty of the artwork, and then like the consequences of the story that was unfolding. Because at that moment in the story, Goku, he was super yoked from doing the Kaioken times 10. You know what I mean? That puts a strain on the body, and like Vegeta had been fucking like, so Goku won the Kai struggle. Vegeta was blasted into fucking outer orbit or wherever, and Goku was sitting there like, yeah, I'm fucking done now, and he's gonna come back, you know. And as a kid, I'm like, what the fuck do you do then?
Mine was what was it, like when Raditz had a hold of. Or was it Goku had a hold of Raditz and Piccolo did the whole
special beam cannon,
and it went through Raditz and through Goku.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy shit! I've never seen this kind of.
Have you seen the unedited version of that? Because like what we got on Toonami was heavily edited.
Oh, I bet. Like, localized. I bet like there's a whole lot more.
There was more. There was more blood. Yep, for sure.
I remember. Anytime there was like kind of there should be blood or gore, it was just a black line.
Just a black line.
Like, I don't think that's just a whole
that's a
I was still kind of shocked as a kid. I'm like, damn, that's pretty intense.
Right.
Some brutal shit.
It's like a Looney Tunes Acme hole in place of the
fucking Frieza just taking his hand and just shoving it through someone. Like fucking T-3000, 2000.
Oh, Dr. Gero did that to Yamcha. Yeah.
Poor
bro, that shit was.
There's a T-shirt that I've seen that has it's a picture of Yamcha in the crater. I want so bad. I'm like, I need that T-shirt. It's just him in the fetal position in the crater, just fucking dead.
Boy, if there was a representation for my life sometimes,
for real,
it's that shirt,
right?
Yeah,
that's why I need that shit.
God damn. Well, rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. Again, legend and pioneer in the game.
Rest in peace.
He is responsible for piquing my interest in anime. You know, like he was the one that did it.
For sure.
Yeah,
like one of the few animes that I've actually gotten into. And I'm not a big anime guy.
Yep. So I just wanted to go ahead and take that opportunity to say rest in peace to that legend. So with that being said, now that we're like 28 minutes into this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Homies, one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and tonight I am here with the homie Brendon. Brendon, welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Oh, yeah. You know, I almost forgot what we were here to talk about.
Almost.
We talked about some of everything.
What are we here to talk about?
Thankfully,
I have no idea.
Thankfully, you're wearing it on your shirt. So
Am I? Oh, look at there. Oh, shit.
It's a good reminder. That's a cool shirt, by the way.
I appreciate it.
I like that one. Yeah. Let's start here then. Now that I'm looking at your shirt here, because by the way, tonight's episode, guys, is all about Venom. You know, specifically like his movie appearances and really what we want to see from movie 3, and you know what can be improved upon. But I kind of want to talk about the character in general before we get there, and that is with Venom. And this is kind of an unfair question because we've had this version of Venom longer than the original version. But, you know, the original drawings of Venom by Todd McFarlane was basically the same, but there were a couple of differences.
He didn't even have, like, the sharp teeth. He just had that grin.
He had
evil-ass grin.
He didn't have the sharp rows of razor teeth or the tongue.
Or the tongue, exactly.
Yeah.
Who gave him the tongue? Was that Bagley that gave him the tongue?
Eric Larson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Larson, I believe, was the second person to draw Venom. So that's when he came in.
Okay.
Yeah. When Eric Larson came in, he's the one that gave him like the jutted chin with the razor sharp teeth and the tongue. And that's the version that's kind of stuck around.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane, in interviews before, I've heard him talk about it, and he said that he never really liked the jagged teeth and the tongue, because he said what he described it as is like when Venom is like running or swinging, like the tongue just looks like a dog with his head out the window.
I mean, it, like nowadays, like with the character it makes sense. I can see him doing that. But at the time, he was supposed to be more serious.
He was supposed to be more serious and I guess more maybe more humanoid, maybe to show that it's. I mean, because you got to think about it, right? Like, I'm not saying that I like Todd's design more, but it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because when Peter had the symbiote, he didn't fucking have.
No.
You know.
I guess it was just the whole. What he was going after the whole mindset of what Eddie Brock was and how much more sinister he was at the time.
Because the symbiote and Eddie were both so gung ho on fuck you, Peter Parker.
Yeah, and they just meshed that much more together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you prefer the Eric Larson version?
Oh, it's hard to say. Like my first exposure was the animated version from the series, and that's a completely different kind of look that he's got going on there.
Was it?
I mean, it's got the tongue and the teeth, but he's also got like the different kind of eyes where like he almost looks like he has pupils, but not at the same time.
Oh, okay.
He's also red and blue.
Was he red and blue?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Go look at if you look at the highlights on like he was black.
Yeah,
but his highlights of the lighting were one side of him was red, one side of him was blue.
I have to go back and see that. I do remember the blue accents. But I thought that was just a carryover from comic books because, a lot of comic book inks had trouble with black. And so things would be dark blue in comic books instead of black. And I thought that was a translation into the TV show.
No, it's actually red and blue.
Weird.
It's pretty neat looking once you go back and so like that Mandela effect.
Yeah.
But it's almost like I took it as kind of different lighting hitting him at the time. But it's almost like also a duality type thing because he's like trying to fight with himself of doing evil and doing good and all that. So I don't know if they actually that's what they were going for, but it kind of works either way.
I know that you said Venom is one of your favorite characters, right? Is he your favorite?
I would put him at the top. I definitely would put him at the top.
That's pretty awesome. Favorite. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Specifically Eddie Brock version.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
He's one of the first anti-heroes I've ever come across. And I just kind of latched onto that, especially just being loving the Spider-Man show and just he was Spider-Man but cooler.
Yeah. And, I mean this literally in all the best ways possible, but Venom was one of the first villains that was a mirror of the hero.
He's that doppelganger type.
Yeah. And for me, I've always loved that kind of duality between a hero and a villain because with Venom, he was stronger than Spider-Man. In certain ways, he was even though he's so big, he was faster than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He has a better healing factor than Spider-Man because of the symbiote. And on top of that, Spider-Man cannot sense Venom. No. And so it looks like all the cards are in Venom's table, so how does Peter deal with something like this? And I've always kind of loved seeing that type of duality. I mean, you see it again with the early Iron Man comic books or in Iron Man 1, you have Tony versus the Ironmonger, you know what I mean? Obadiah Stane. So when done right, those type of archetypes work really well for me.
It works as you go back to wrestling, you have to have something for the face to actually work towards it, and to have the what's the word I'm looking for, the odds stacked against him, and have that more imposing figure, work its way into trying to beat the hero, and the hero rising up above that and finding a way.
Yeah. I agree with that, and there's a lot of pro wrestling and a lot of different things in life.
I mean, pro wrestling is comics.
It is, and I've always I've always kind of said I think that's why I think that's why I like comic books so much because I like wrestling so much, and vice versa.
There's so many things that it has in
colorful outfits, the bright personalities,
the power scaling.
Special moves, and the pageantry of it all, it all mirrors comic books.
It started out as a sport, but it evolved into.
It started out more in terms of what professional wrestling is. It started off as more of a circus act.
Yeah, carting.
Yeah,
stuff like that. but then it evolved into pretty much live action superheroes.
Right. So, when I was taking my notes for this episode, right, I had to go back and do like the basics, like the shit that I've talked about for like the Venom 2 and the Venom 1 reviews. And that is, Venom's origin, right? So I've discussed that in links before.
I think we've talked about it on here before.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna deep dive. I'm not gonna give you guys a lecture on Nick Fury. What is it I lecture on already? Something else.
Magneto, and the twins.
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
This is gone off the rails so much today.
I'm not gonna also give you guys a lecture on Venom's origin, but
the one character that we're here to talk about.
I know. Okay, fuck. I'll give you guys the brief summary. All right, and that is Eddie Brock. Actually, I had some of the books out earlier here. I had to go back through and kind of refresh myself on some of the specifics, but like Eddie actually worked for a competitor newspaper. He didn't work for the Daily Bugle. He worked for a different company, and he wasn't a photographer. Obviously, he's just like a journalist or
a news reporter.
Yeah, news reporter type guy. He'd be the one who gathers the scoop to report it back to the paper company. And it was during I always called this era the Sin Eater era of Spider-Man, because Sin Eater, that was the name of a serial killer that was going around, killing people. And Eddie thought he had the scoop. That's what they do, right? These goddamn serial killers.
He goes around stabbing cereal boxes.
That's what I had to specify, Yeah. Like, hey, this is a serial killer that kills people.
Was he killing people or was he killing cereal?
He was killing people this time. Goddamn Sin Eater. But they nicknamed him Sin Eater. You know how all these killers, for whatever reason, some of them get pet names in real life. So they just kind of mirror that. But Eddie thought that he found a good scoop as to who the Sin Eater is. And without really verifying it, he rushes in, he turns it in, and the paper publishes it. And come to find out, it's not it. Spider-Man reveals the actual Sin Eater. Goes, no, this guy's innocent. That guy Eddie Brock is a dumb piece of shit.
Fucking fraud, big fat phony.
You're a big fat phony. And Eddie's like, oh, what
piece
the fuck?
Shit.
And it's important to remember this. Eddie Brock, I'm gonna say like he had a lot of bad qualities, but I'm not going to say that he was always inherently just a bad person.
He was an asshole.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a bad person.
I hate to say it, he was a typical 90s New Yorker in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? Yeah. He was an asshole, and I mean, don't get me, like, again, there's a lot of bad things he did, but he just felt so humanized, so shout out to David Michelini, the guy who primarily wrote all of this. Because Eddie did feel very fleshed out, even from day one. He took out a lot of his stress and frustrations on the gym, and he got jacked. Don't ask me why I work out. and that's how he got to be so fucking yoked. Like every time,
those frustrations.
Every time I want to punch Peter in the face, I'm going to do a bench press rep, and he
just in the gym. Fuck you, fuck you, Spider-Man. Fuck you.
But even before that whole Sin Eater thing debacle, he was constantly in the gym working out his frustrations.
Wasn't he a bodybuilder as well?
He might have been, actually. I mean, fuck, he should have been. If not,
like, why are you a news reporter and not fucking checked, bro?
Right,
for no reason.
Yeah,
you're a news reporter. What the fuck?
Fucking jacked for no reason, yeah. But he also had a lot of frustrations with dealing with his girlfriend. Also, I forget her name.
I did not know about that.
Yeah. She's in the movies vaguely a little bit. I forget where that is.
She?
Yeah.
I know.
She was in the first.
She
one.
Was he was in the first Spider-Man 3. He was.
I'm not talking about the whole thing with Gwen. I was talking about the first Venom movie.
Oh, that lady. Okay, yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget that character. It wasn't Betty, because I'm thinking of Betty Brant now, but it was.
She turns into Lady Venom.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, eventually she. Yeah, but Yeah, like he was having a lot of problems with, or she was having problems with him more specifically, because like he wasn't turning in any like good stories, wasn't getting paid. He was kind of a scummy guy, you know what I mean? And like she was trying to be like the good girlfriend, but Eddie was making it real fucking difficult. And
fucking up, Ron.
Yep. And so it just gets to the point where he feels like he's losing everything. He's losing his job, losing his girlfriend, and damn it, man, if Spider-Man hadn't interfered,
Spider-Man,
yeah, if he had just let him turn in the wrong person to
just ruin someone else's life,
then he would still have a job. Meaning he would still have money. Meaning he would still have his girlfriend. Meaning that everything would be hunky dory.
Great.
Yeah.
Nothing would have came up later.
Exactly.
At all.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But that's what I love about the character. Like he was so reluctant to see the flaws in himself, or he knew they were there, but he always put them away. And put the blame on everything else.
Trying to bury him.
Yeah. And so, eventually we get to the iconic scene where, like, his motherfucker's praying in the church. Man, look, God, I know I don't ask for a lot, but if you could just do me this one solid, that motherfucker Peter Parker.
That's one of a hell of an answer from God.
It is, right?
Fucking an alien from space. All right, motherfucker, let's see how you handle this bullshit.
Yeah, like, imagine praying to God that, that he kills your ops. And then you see what you can only assume to be a goddamn demon.
For real, you would think he would have turned religious for the symbiote or something like that. Would have messed up his mind.
Oh yeah,
somehow.
Yeah, and so he bonds with the symbiote who has been unbonded from Peter, reluctantly so.
Yeah.
And so the symbiote
is like rejected. Yeah, he's just mad and is going to get my rebound.
Yeah. Oh, and that is that's an extremely important distinction to talk about, because Eddie wants Peter killed because he thinks that Peter took everything from him, and the symbiote doesn't really want Peter dead. The symbiote, if anything, is a scorned ex.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to describe it.
It literally is. As funny as it sounds.
Yeah. And so the symbiote, it wants to hurt Peter, and it wants Peter to feel, the pain that it fucking felt.
It's weird. It's an alien, but it has like human emotions.
Aliens do that. They would have emotions. Not that I'm speaking.
What aliens have you hurt, sir?
Not that I'm speaking from experience.
You hurt some aliens' feelings and didn't want to live your life and.
Hey, I've gotten pussy from all around the galaxy, sir.
Hey,
all right.
Hey.
I'm
not questioning.
Don't knock until you try it, Goddamn.
I never thought I heard those words.
But the thing though about like the dynamic between Peter and Venom has been that Venom, he gained a lot of popularity very quickly, which is the telltale sign of what's going to happen, which is they turn him into an anti-hero. And the thing of it is that it did feel earned, because he went through a lot, you know what I mean? And like even during Donny Cates's run, which I don't know how much of that you've read, it's fantastic though.
I've heard and watched some things about it, but I haven't like gotten into it, like every bit of it.
It's really good.
It seems like it.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, goodness grief, like there's, I can't recommend it enough. It's probably the favorite thing that I've read written by Donny Cates, and that's saying something, because almost everything he's written to me has been very good. But his Venom is exceptional.
Let me ask you, this is a slight tangent.
Okay.
We don't do that around here. We don't do tangents. What is your thoughts on like Back in Black, Deadpool? And that being canon.
You mean Deadpool being the one that
got the symbiote first before? Is it say before Peter did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why
why it's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, I
did
think,
you read that?
I think it's a fun gag, but I hate it as canon.
Really?
I don't really. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's needed. You know. I mean, yeah. I think it makes for a fun gag, but I don't. How does that add to the story at all?
I mean, I guess like to give the psyche of the alien why it's turns people crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Like the Clintar, which is what those symbiotes are called, they in and of themselves do that for survival. It's a vampire. It's a symbiotic relationship.
It's a parasite.
Yeah, it's a parasite, and it's going to bond to you. And if it stays bonded too long, then it causes irreparable damage if it is removed. You know, it bonds with, and like even with Carnage, who we'll talk about here in a little bit, like it bonds on a molecular level to an extent. You know, and so like you really can't be unbonded from it, and it's gonna feed off of you. And like that's what the rest of the symbiotes do. The Venom one does not because it got damaged.
Oh, really?
It got severed from the connection of Null. All the other symbiotes, they were still connected to the hive mind, to Null.
That's right. I remember hearing about that now.
Yeah, and so because they were all connected to that same hive mind, they all knew to fulfill the purpose, which is to, you know, you bond, you feed, you kill, and then we move on to the next planet. You know, that's kind of like the whole deal. Because the Venom symbiote was severed from that connection from Null, it didn't know any of that. You know.
Yeah, I need to. I've been slacking, and I need to get on reading to that story arc with Donny Cates.
100% recommend.
Yeah, I definitely want to come back when I do read that and talk about that. There's so much, though. There's the Venom run, King in Black, Absolute Carnage.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you just read Donny Cates' run, you read all of that along with it. Like, it's a part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like you have to go out of your way to read those other things. Like, for example, I have all three of those Omnis. You know, I have the Absolute Carnage, the King in Black, and the Donny Cates Venom Omni. In reality, I'm just a fucking degenerate collector.
There's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah, I don't need all of those. Like the Venom Omni is the only one that's necessary.
Yeah,
you know, everything else is just if you want to read the tie-ins.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that just like wants the side stories. Like even Silver Surfer Black that ties in a little bit here and there.
That was also really good. Yeah, that's part of the Donny Cates' Marvel Cosmic Universe. Silver Surfer Black was fantastic.
I heard a lot of good things about that.
I covered that a couple years ago here on the podcast.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, really, really good story. Fun fact about that story, since we're talking about Donny Cates, it was 2018 and he was in the airport. He had his laptop up and he was writing the basis for Silver Surfer Black, which of course heavily features Noel as we now know it. But he was writing that story.
Was it not called Noel in that story?
Well, we don't really know what he was originally going to do.
Okay.
But he was writing the story that he was going to write, which is, if you read Donny Cates' stuff, you kind of know that feel and flavor that he has. And what we ended up getting is something completely different. Something that I think is excellent, but it's completely different for him. And the reason for that is because he said when he was in the airport writing the story, you know, his phone starts going off, and he looked at it, and he was getting the notifications that Stan Lee had passed away. And he said he sat there for a bit, cried for a little bit, and then he erased everything he wrote and restarted on Silver Surfer Black.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I vaguely remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Which is why that story feels very sombersome at times if you ever read it. It's I
got to go back and read that.
Yeah, it's a really good story though. But yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about Noel later on too, actually.
You think and his involvement with the third movie?
I think it's possible. We're gonna get there. But yeah, so I mean that's just a little bit about like the origins of the character Venom. You know, Eddie Brock. What's funny is that I was trying to look up and see who Marvel attributes to being the creators of Venom, because in my mind I'm thinking it's got to be David Michelini and Todd McFarlane. Yeah,
he says he's the co-creator.
Yeah, as he should.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously,
if I had to say two, it's David Michelini and Todd McFarlane. If you go to Wikipedia, they got 8 people.
Are you serious?
It's because like they got like 6 people who helped formulate and create the symbiote.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, doesn't it involve that fan submission?
And he also gets credited. I forget his name. I think Kevin Schrumpert, something like that.
Is it? Okay.
Something along those lines. Yeah, that fan who submitted it was like a contest that Jim Shooter, he was the editor in chief in Marvel at the time. There was a contest for Marvel Comics where like fans could submit like mock-up pictures for new designs for the heroes, and that fan, whose name escapes me, he submitted a picture of what definitely looks like Spider-Man Back in Black, and Jim Shooter liked it a lot and was like, we can probably use this.
I know that they initially used it in Secret War.
Yep.
But the first person to actually get that design was Spider-Woman.
Yep, they were drawing it up for Spider-Woman. Julie, actually, the one who was in that atrocious Madam Web movie.
That's why I watched it. That's the only real reason why I want to watch it, is to see a real life version of.
I'm gonna tell you this, Brendan. Blink and you'll miss it.
Oh no! God damn it, Sony, you pieces of shit!
Oh, they were such assholes.
Oh.
They got me good. Because I knew it was going to be bad. Listen, let me tell you, I knew that Madam Web was going to be bad, but I thought at least I was going to get to see the Spider-Woman
She's in the trailer. She's in the fucking trailer. Why? And she's hot.
Oh, yeah.
And she's fucking hot.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Fuck. What? You had one job.
Oh, yeah.
One job, Sony.
They fucked it all up.
Oh, God, no.
You get Sydney Sweeney in that black tight Spider-Woman outfit.
And she's got the Venom logo on, like, kind of.
Yeah, it looks very akin because
like,
it's pre-Venom technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, they fucked it up in the movie. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. You get about 4.8 seconds of that.
Are you? Is that?
Oh yeah.
She doesn't even.
Yeah. She's not really in the movie.
She's so the what you see in the trailer.
That's it. That is literally
no
it.
fucking way.
I shit you not.
My fucking God. How do you fuck it up that bad? Like, that's the one thing people wanted to see in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, how do they not like money?
I think that they lack competence. It's just the issue.
That's blatant.
I think what they were hoping for is that this would get people excited for a sequel where we see them.
So they're just trying to tease us and blue ball people.
But they forgot that this movie has to be good for people to see it.
They're going to keep making movies whether they're good or not. But you actually have to put stuff in them. It's not stopping them from...
What is good is Venom.
Yes.
The character. He's a very, very good character.
And I stand by that. His movies are good. Except Spider-Man 3.
We're gonna get there in your bad takes.
No.
Yep.
How dare you, sir?
Hey, listen, I shit on Captain Marvel in front of Caleb. In front of Caleb, I was shit on Venom.
Venom is a lot better than Captain Marvel, sir. I haven't even seen it.
That is true. All right.
See, confirmation. Yeah. Yeah.
I would watch the Venom movies on marathon before I watch goddamn Marvels.
Damn. I know that you don't like those damn movies.
I do not.
Holy shit.
But I mean, at least like someone wrote a plot for these movies, you know.
Fair enough. I haven't watched Marvels yet, so I haven't. I don't know how bad.
Well, I'm telling you.
Damn. All right. I was gonna eventually give it a watch, but
I mean, listen, I would rather fucking remove my old fingernails and wait for them to grow back before I rewatch the Marvels. All right.
Holy shit. So Marvel, I know you said this before. Marvels or Madam Web?
In terms of what?
So, like, which one you would rather watch?
I'd rather fucking dislodge my eyes from my head, stick them up my rectum, and then reinsert them into my eye sockets. Yeah,
damn.
I would rather give myself a rectal exam with my own eyes before I watch either of those movies.
I mean, it says something because there's a reason why I haven't bothered watching them yet. And you know the shit I watch.
Well, Brendon, you're not alone. No one watched either of those movies. I swear, it's just...
I mean, you know I like my schlock and my bad movies.
Yeah, well, there's a lot out there to be had. Yeah.
But not those, huh?
Yeah, no, not those. Last year was not a good year for superhero movies. Or apparently this year.
Or this year. It's not starting out great.
Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon. And about how, he appeared in there. I think that's where I first saw him also.
Well, actually, the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon is different than the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. Because there was an actual...
There was, yeah.
And then there were several. Yeah, there was spectacular.
There was Spider-Man and Friends, yeah.
Oh, that was before. Yep. And then before that, it was just called Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yep. Adjectiveless Spider-Man.
Spider-Man and Friends is the most random shit. Like,
it is. Like, it's Spider-Man, Iceman.
And Fire Lady.
They created, I almost said fire. It's not Firestorm. They created that character for that show.
Really?
And then she got put into the comic books.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's an old show, but I was not aware of that.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Like, why is Spider-Man teaming up with these random X-Men like that?
Yeah, it was random as fuck.
Really random. Like, what does he have to do?
I remember watching an episode of that, and then they're battling Magneto. I'm like, this is so fucking random.
I know Wolverine shows up at one point, doesn't he? Or is that a different show?
That might be a different
and he's
show.
Australian. No shit, he's Australian. He's Australian.
Good day, bub.
Yeah. Literally. I'm like, that's ironic as fuck.
That is ironic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It comes back full circle.
All right. Anyways.
They really want Wolverine to be Australian, not Canadian.
Yeah, Australia.
Fuck Canada.
Oh. All right. Let's talk a little bit here about these live action Venom appearances. So we'll start with the best one being Spider-Man 3.
No, sir.
Okay, so we talked around this before, but you've never actually articulated why you dislike this Venom and why you like.
Because to me, it's not Venom. It's just this weird.
So remember how we talked about like the origin of the character?
Yeah.
Which movie gets it closer to you? You think?
I mean, you want to talk about no, that's, I guess Ultimate doesn't do that either, huh?
Nope.
No, Ultimate's different. Shit. But I mean, origin, smorigin. You know, you don't need fucking Spider-Man all the time.
I think that's where you and I disagree right there at the very beginning. Because I was taking my notes down here in a different section, talking about like why these Venom movies have so many problems, and I was writing down all the different reasons why, and it all comes back to the problem number one: there is no Spider-Man.
He's a menace.
So it's like you need Spider-Man to tell the story of Venom. That's why his story is so good.
Yeah, I agree. Would I have rather them do that for the movies? But I also think that the route that they went, I think it's possible. Now, is it as good? No. But I think it's possible to tell the story of that nature. And then possibly bring in Spider-Man later. It is better with the origin of involving Spider-Man. I agree.
Yeah, it's because the way that they go about it now, you can, even if you're not familiar, you can tell that there's some holes in this story.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, if we look at like the Tom Hardy movies, they want you to feel sympathy for Eddie Brock right off the bat, and they try hard. the first one especially is heavily based off of the Lethal Protector story. And, the Lethal Protector story, for those of you who don't know, that story is basically Venom's first solo story where he leaves New York and he goes back to his home place of San Francisco, that's where the movie takes place at. And, and in the comic books, he's trying to be good.
Yeah, he has a truce with Spider-Man, and he's like, you know what, let me get out your face because I'm going to end up beating your ass at some point.
Yeah.
And let me go over here across the country. And that's what he does.
Yep, that's exactly what he does. And it's there where he encounters, like, the Life Foundation and, like, the people who, introduced new symbiotes such as Riot and all those other ones. And Phage, yeah.
Agony, Scream.
Scream, who wouldn't be used until the sequel.
Weirdly enough, Scream is in the Universal Studios Spider-Man ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's only Scream. That's it. No Venom.
Really?
Yes, it's only Scream.
That is bizarre.
I don't know why. She looks cool. Yeah. It's a cool ride.
Yeah.
But she's the one symbiote villain in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's here where Eddie begins to really cut his teeth as an anti-hero. And it's also interesting to know that this is after the big battles with Carnage, that he goes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he has to team up with Spider-Man to fight Carnage and all that.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So, that's really where the first movie tries to start at.
Yeah.
Is with Eddie being in San Francisco, and he gets bonded with the symbiote from the Life Foundation. Instead of them trying to replicate the symbiote that he has, he actually gets it from them. They've captured it in the movie. And, we see him bond with this alien. And I will say this, like, one thing that the Tom Hardy Venom movies definitely do better than the Spider-Man 3 is that they actually show you that there is a symbiotic connection between Eddie and the suit, and there's communication between the two. Yeah,
that's the main reason. Like, the origin is not, but the actual character themselves, I think they their end results is a lot better than Spider-Man 3. Yeah, the seeing the story of the symbiote and how it all that happens, but Topher Grace's Venom just was not he even said he wasn't just from a visual standpoint, he was very small. The noises he made were just abhorrent and did not sound like Venom at all. Just sounded like a screeching banshee velociraptor. When he spoke, even with the mask down, he sounded like Topher Grace. No kind of.
No, he had a.
It was a little bit of reverberation in his voice, but he still just sounded like a guy, and just all that kind of ruined it for me. And his involvement and just having no kind of redeeming qualities at all. Yeah, and just and the director, we know about the Sam Raimi didn't even like Venom.
Well,
or want him in the movie.
Yeah, he didn't want to put Venom in the movie because there were already too many villains, and then the studios forced him to do it. Yeah.
What's that guy's name that does Sony Pictures? That's all the producer that's always kind of. It's a particular guy's name that's always wanting to. He's still a producer.
I think this is before Amy Pascal was over it. I don't remember. The studio wanted Sam Raimi to put Venom in the movie, which that's not the bad idea. The bad idea was that Sam Raimi had already obviously had plans to finish the Harry story, which was to me the most important story. I thought that the Sandman stuff was also really good.
The Sandman part of that movie is spot on. I don't think you could do a better Sandman.
Agreed. Yeah. Thomas Hayden Church was also excellent in that role.
That was perfect casting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But no, so I do agree. I don't think that the Venom and Spider-Man 3 is perfect by any means. What I do think, though, is that we've never seen a complete Venom in any of these live-action movies.
I agree. No, you haven't gotten the actual true combination, if it somehow could have a combination of the two.
Right. I think you know what it is. You know what it's like. It's like the same reason why we've never seen a good Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
you know, it's because, and the reasons I think are the same. It's because in both cases, with both Dark Phoenix and with Venom, it takes time to build up to that.
Yes.
And none of these movies, you got to earn it. Yeah, and none of these movies want to take the time to earn it.
Now, with superhero movies, like what are your thoughts on like slavish to the origin stories? Because there's a lot of good heroes and characters that we've had in the movies that aren't like complete, like from their origins of the comics.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends, right? Because like there is no black and white answer. Like for example, Thomas and Martha Wayne had to get shot. You know what I mean? You know, Uncle Ben has to get shot. Peter has to get bitten by a radioactive spider. You know what I mean? Like some of these things, you just are, they're just law. You know, but then there's, I mean, even with Tony Stark, he has to, you know, build an arc reactor in the cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah, box of scraps.
Yeah. Like some things are just gospel.
Yeah.
And my whole thing has always been this, and it goes back to like character integrity, which I will speak more on the next episode. But it's all about the idea of stick to the comic books unless you know for a fact you can do better. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, the problem is a lot of these people think they can and they don't.
I don't think a lot of them think they can. A lot of them want to take shortcuts to get there. Mm-hmm. You know, but you know, it's like I mean, and I have been accused on more than one occasion by more than one person of being a purist, and I have a couple of responses to that. One, I don't consider myself a purist because if I were a purist, then I would only like about 5% of superhero movies, and
are you a comic book elitist?
Well, I think that the comic books are better than the movies.
I mean,
but you know, I mean, hell, that's like reading, you know, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings and saying you think it's superior. I don't think your thoughts are wrong, you know. Yeah. But it's just the whole idea of comic books have more time to breathe. They've been around longer, and you know it's a different medium of entertainment. And so when you're trying to adapt it, you already are at a disadvantage because you are trying to adapt something that is meant to be read and seen. Mm-hmm. You know, so
over a long period of
time. Yeah, over several issues.
Yeah, you know, and so you have time to actually digest and process stuff.
Right. So I mean, but I guess my other thing is this: is like if I am considered a purist, then is that really such a bad thing? You know?
Would you consider yourself a gatekeeper?
You know, I've also have considered this as well. I do not inherently believe in gatekeeping, but I do believe somebody should be standing in the motherfucking door checking IDs.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do not mind being that person either.
I think that, like, you know, you shouldn't gatekeep. Yeah. But there should be a level of understanding of the character.
Yeah.
And the most basic.
That's it. Yeah.
That's all we ask. It's not much to ask.
And you know, it always helps when they enjoy the source material. For example, Hugh Jackman went and read X-Men comic books, and he enjoyed the idea of Wolverine. Mm-hmm. You know, Ryan Reynolds enjoys Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, you can go down the line with all these, you know, different, both actors and directors, like the Nolan brothers and David S. Goyer. I remember reading about when they walked into comic shops and they picked up, like, they asked, like, what are the most popular Batman comic books? They gathered those, read them, and you can see the DNA in those movies from where they read, you know.
You would think Hollywood would have picked up on that by now. Like, the best movies have been made by these creators that understand what they are telling, the story, the characters that they are telling and adapting.
It's one of those things, though, that is so hard to contend with. Like, for example, bring this back to Venom, I do think that like Venom 1 is the best of the Venom movies so far.
I enjoyed it more, but there was a lot because there was a lot that did bother me about Venom 2.
Yeah.
Concerning Carnage.
Oh yeah.
But there was a lot that I enjoyed about Venom 2 as well.
With Venom 1, again, the things that it got right that Spider-Man 3 didn't, Spider-Man 3 got some things right that Venom 1 didn't. And like you said earlier, if there could have been like a marriage of the two.
If we could have got the origin from and then the results being the Tom Hardy Venom.
Exactly.
With a fucking spider logo on there.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, like.
But I get why they didn't do it because there's no reason for him to have it. Like,
well, here's the thing. Like, if they give him a proper origin, then he can have it. And guess what he can also do? Then he'd be able to web sling. But he can't do that either.
Yeah, he could do the whole tendril thing. Like, he gets around pretty good.
No, we see him like wall running and Hulk jumping. You know, we don't get to see him actually swing. You know.
Web swinging is overrated.
Oh yeah, I guess so. It's that iconic logo on his chest that isn't there. Yeah. He looks so fucking naked without
it. He does look naked, especially with those veins.
Yeah,
that are trying to take the place.
Right.
It's just not the same.
Not the same.
It's almost perfect. Almost.
Not the same. But the reason why I had such a hard time connecting with the character of Eddie Brock is because it wasn't earned. Like, they want me to feel sympathy for him right off the bat, but instead of having him being like a reformed asshole like he is in the comic books, instead he's just a guy who's down on his luck, and he's almost.
I mean, he's a bit of an asshole. He's just not like. Not as bad as he. He doesn't do anything dastardly.
No, like by the end of the first movie, he's still essentially the same guy. He just has a symbiote, you know.
True. There's not really much of an arc.
Yeah.
This is a guy that's trying to be better, but he was trying to be better before.
Yeah, and this is one of those things, right? Because it's like, again, things can be different in the movies from the comic books, but if it inherently affects the integrity of the character,
exactly,
then you got to find a way to make it right. You know,
I agree.
But with that being said, I mean, there were definitely some good things about it. That we already touched on as well. Like, I think that the overall visualization of this Venom looks better. I mean, then again, Spider-Man 3 is 2006, Venom 1 was 2018.
Yeah. The whole design of the actual appearance of him is, even though like obviously the CG is going to be completely different.
Yeah. And also again, just like the relationship between Eddie and the symbiote.
There was no relationship.
There was none. Like, they didn't treat the symbiote like a sentient creature. Yeah. So
I think the whole vibe and feeling around the Tom Hardy one is more akin
it's
to
buddy
the
cop.
comics.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is more akin to the comic books than the Topher Grace. It's like the Topher Grace is like they understood the origin but not the character.
Yeah.
And with the Tom Hardy movies, they understand the character more but not the origin. And so like it's just this frustrating.
But with the Venom movies, like I can sort of give it a pass because if you put Spider-Man in that movie, he's going to overshadow.
Okay. That's how. You know why? Because that's how it has to be. Yeah. Whenever you put those two in the movie for the first time, but see, here's the crazy part though. You say that Venom that Spider-Man overshadows Venom if they do that, and I agree. But on the flip side, if in the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, Venom shows up, Venom steals the show.
True.
It's all about.
And I'm waiting for that. Yeah, I am fucking waiting for that so much, and I'm wondering what they're going to do because they've teased it. But then they also kind of reeled back on it, and like with the No Way Home, he left part of the symbiote.
Yeah,
but it's not. So that are they saying it's not going to be the same Venom, if we even get Venom, because like that's just teasing a black suit Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe, and this is all so much just conjecture, right? Because there's so much litigation and red tape between Sony and Marvel. So if Amy Pascal allows Kevin Feige and the crew at Disney to have, a little bit more control over the Spider-Man IP in the MCU, then what that could mean is they are willing to properly set up and tell the story. I mean, if you want to do a Spider-Man, because they want to do like another trilogy, right? So if they want to do Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, he can get the black suit in 4. We get Venom in 5. And then, we can do something else. And I mean, they can introduce Miles in 6. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so long from now, though. It's
And see, you are thinking like a Hollywood executive, and that is not good.
I want it now, damn it! I want it now. I want to see that shit now. Why has it been this long that we have not gotten a Spider-Man and Venom movie?
Because again, it's because of the setup. It's because we could start doing the work to set up Venom, or we could just put in the Goblin, or we could just put in. Whatever other. We don't have to, because those characters are much easier to introduce than Venom. It's something about Hollywood and complex storytelling that just doesn't mix.
No. They don't think that the audience will be there for it or have the attention span for it.
Which is ridiculous, Like, for fuck's sake.
They think the audiences are fucking idiots.
The audience sat through, like, 23 movies straight in the MCU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have patience for long-term storytelling, they sat through, 8 Harry Potter movies? You know what I mean? Like, the people will definitely stick around if the story's good. So, I think that Hollywood is just consistently behind the trend,
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I think another problem that I have with the Venom movies, besides the lack of Spider-Man, is the villains.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They rushed into the Life Foundation thing way too early, and it just seemed like you could take it or leave it, and it's just another, gray Venom. And what bothers me is that ended up kind of ruining
Carnage.
Yep. Because they ended up doing a better Carnage with Riot than they did with Carnage in the second movie, even though they knew they were going to set up a Carnage movie at the end of the first movie.
Frustrating as hell. Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Just put Carnage in the first movie. If you're not even like... And there's the whole thing. He's going to overshadow Venom. No! Just put him in the first movie. That is his arch nemesis.
Yeah, and so
that is his Joker.
It's like this. Like, do you want to put your biggest bad in the first movie?
I get from that perspective.
The problem is that Riot is way too similar to Carnage. Yes. Like to the casual fan base, he's the gray one and Carnage is the red one. Yeah. A bit. As comic book fans, we know that in reality, Carnage is way more popular of a character than Riot.
But I also think they could have gotten away with doing Carnage, teasing Carnage, and not killing him in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And then did Life Foundation in the second one. Mm-hmm. And having him fight the actual Life Foundation, not just
Riot. Yeah,
and then in the third one, maybe having Spider-Man and Venom team up to actually defeat Carnage.
See, that would have been cool.
Right?
But the problem is this, though, and I do think that this is a real problem, especially now, that they have to deal with, and that is...
you could have even had Carnage come along and even kill a couple of the Life Foundation symbiotes.
Well, we can talk about what they could have done all day long.
Yeah.
But the issue is that they didn't, and here we are now. And the other issue is this: they cannot do another symbiote fight.
No.
You know, they just can't. So they're going to have to go ahead. If they had plans on that, they need to go ahead and scratch that. And I think they know that by this point, too.
But how do you kill how do you just kill Carnage right off the bat? Like, in the second one. That bothered me so much. Like,
the problem is, like, they didn't know what to do with him. What do you send him back to, like, Ravencroft or the Vault or the Raft? I mean theoretically, you do.
What did they do with him in the comics?
He gets away. Typically, or if that's the difference though. If Spider-Man is the one to stop him, then he goes to the Raft.
Yeah.
If Venom is the one to stop him,
he dies.
He's probably gonna die. You know, so
because Venom don't put up with that shit. That's the problem with anti-heroes, though. They don't have a whole lot of long-standing villains.
Yeah,
it's because anti-heroes don't give a fuck about keeping you alive.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone about this a few days ago. You know, I was like, "There's a reason why Batman is more popular than Frank Castle."
Yeah, I was just about to say, like Frank Castle. Like, what villains do you know from Frank Castle? Jigsaw. That's it.
Yeah, the Butte, and in most canons, he's dead. You know. Yeah. And I mean, besides that, he's got Kingpin, but that's because Daredevil and Spider-Man
they just keep him from killing fucking Kingpin.
I think that, like, another thing with these Venom movies is they have a villain problem, and I think that that's kind of a perfect segue to talk about what we want to see in Venom 3.
Shit, we could even have Spider-Man as the Venom, as the villain, as the Venom, as the villain.
I don't know if that would work. How you mean?
Shit, I mean, you could have Eddie be the protagonist and have shoot it from a perspective of Eddie somehow, and
So okay, let me ask you this: like, because there have been rumblings that maybe they will put Peter Parker in Venom 3. It would be Andrew's Spider-Man, which I think is a smart call.
Yeah. And I've also heard that they also confirmed that they're not going to do that, which...
Well, here's...
I don't know.
The only reason why I push back on that, and I'll give you a little bit of hope, the movie comes out in 8 months, and we haven't heard shit about what this movie's going to be about.
Really?
Yeah.
It comes out in 8 months.
Comes out this year.
They announced that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it comes out in November.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that. I had no idea. I'm shocked. I did not. I thought this movie was going to come out like 25, maybe 26.
No. That's what I'm saying though. It comes out this year, and you've heard how much about it?
Nothing.
So that's either one or two things. Either one, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're just trying to put something together, or B, they have a secret that they don't want to get out. And
I mean, I'm hoping, but is the competency of Sony has me worried. But if they are working with, I guess they wouldn't have to work with Marvel.
No,
and especially if they're using Andrew. I don't know. That's going to be hard to say.
Yeah. So what we do know is that and I feel bad because I can never pronounce this actor's name. He's really good. He was the lead in 12 Years a Slave. He was also Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
him. Yeah.
Okay.
Phenomenal actor. Chitwell Ejiofor, something like that. I can't pronounce. Yeah. Yeah, he's a
cool sounding name though.
Oh yeah, really cool sounding name. Great actor, but he has been reported to be in the movie.
Interesting.
And people are saying that he's going to play Orwell Taylor. That's actually what I was looking into when you got here. Okay. So I had to go back and dig through the archives to refresh my memory about this guy because I didn't remember.
That's a lot of digging.
Yeah, it was a lot of digging. So I went to Venomnibus Volume 1, Lethal Protectors Issue 2, and at the end of that, you see Orwell Taylor. He's a general, and he's got like an elite group of like heavily armed guys behind him. They're called the Jury. Yeah.
Do these guys use those Iron Man, those green Iron Man type knockoff suits?
Yep.
That he fucks up in Lethal Protector? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to see that in live action so bad.
Yeah, and that's what one of the current theorists are suggesting. They're saying that he's been casted as Orwell.
Yeah, I remember he's in Lethal Protector, right?
Orwell Taylor.
Okay, I remember. I actually did like the few that I actually read. I started reading Lethal Protector before seeing Venom 1.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got a few. I got to finish it, but I got a few issues in. And it's like right as he shows up.
Yep.
With those, I forgot the name of those suits, or the guy.
Yeah, I think there were 5 of them, and they were called the Jury.
Okay.
And like the whole idea, and then this is what led me into bringing out the other book and looking up some other shit. Is that I was reading through that Lethal Protectors issue number 2, right? And Orwell says to Eddie, he says. You may not remember this, but you killed my son when you broke out of the vault. The vault was the prison where they put Venom in when he, like back in like issue 315 of Amazing Spider-Man. And so I went to issue 315 of Amazing Spider-Man, and I looked that up, and I saw that, when he was first breaking out, it gives you like this whole POV from this new rookie who's been put into the vault. He was a guard. Mm. It was his first day on the job, and his name was Hugh Taylor, son of Orwell Taylor. Mm-hmm. And in that issue, he was like basically clocking in for his first day on the job.
Damn, it was his first day.
First day.
Damn.
Yeah.
God.
Damn. And Venom kills him on his escape. And so
was he just like he was one of those dudes that tries to stop him and just?
Well, he didn't even really get a chance. He's like shock and awe, like holy. Because first thing there was a clerical issue that I noticed because Orwell said in Lethal Protector, she says to Eddie, he goes, the first person you killed was my son. His son was the second person that he killed. Because his son, Hugh Taylor, when he's walking into the prison cell, he sees a dead guard on the ground already. And then he looks up and sees Venom. Yeah.
I mean, he could have just said that as a, he could have, and it wasn't Marvel that was wrong, it was Orwell that was wrong.
Yes, yeah. But what's funny is that I'm pretty sure, I think David Michelini wrote both of those issues, so I'm like...
He forgot the shit that he wrote.
But also, he had to write that because he says that Hugh notices the body on the ground, so it wasn't just the artist that did that.
I was just about to say, like, do you think that he saw or remember that, and it was just like something that the artist did?
But I think that this would be a cool villain to see, like General Orwell and the Jury. And by the way, like the people that make up the Jury, they're actually the friends of Hugh. Like some of them were in the military with him. Some of them were co-workers, and they use this advanced gear that they built now specifically to fight symbiote.
I thought like it goes back to Iron Man.
It does because there was the
Star Tech.
Yeah, it was like a form of Star Tech that they were using from like a group of people called the Guardsmen.
That's it.
Yeah.
The Guardsmen.
Yep.
That's the name I was looking for. Mm-hmm. So that's not the same.
It's similar because it's based off of that.
Okay.
Like, they basically just repurposed that shit to make their own.
Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay.
Yep. So I think that could be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
If they do that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. If they can make a good story around that.
The only issue with that, and that is, by the way, the most likely scenario that we get, I think is cool. And again, it's not a symbiote, and they can do some other cool shit. The only problem with that, though, is that it's not as sexy as
what do you expect to happen to Venom? Like it's just a guy that's mad at Venom for killing his son. Like there's no, I mean, even in the comics, he fucks up the guardsman guys
Yeah.
or the jury without even blinking.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's
again,
not a contest.
They can make that more sexy in the movie, you know.
Yeah, but
it's like
there's only so much you can do.
I know, yeah. And the problem is that also it's not as sexy as Peter Parker showing up.
Oh yeah,
and it's not as sexy as Noel showing up.
No.
The problem is I don't know if I want them to do Noel.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about Noel for a little bit here. So the Noel rumors first started flying around at the end of Venom 2, when Venom and Eddie were talking about the hive mind.
Yep, exactly.
And about the shared consciousness. Now, the reason why that raised a flag for everyone is because that's something that was only known in the Noel era of Venom. Yeah. You know, so in other words, all of the other symbiotes know about the hive mind because they're all connected to the hive mind to Noel.
Not to mention that they have the sword. Oh, my bad. Sword from the All Black, right? In the MCU, they used it.
So they do have the All Black in the MCU.
Not the best movie.
Not the best movie at all.
Or either what's the sword from the end of Eternals?
Oh, was that Excalibur?
Excalibur.
No,
okay, that's Excalibur. Okay, that's a different.
Yeah, different sword. That's the one used by the what was his name? Dan Whitman. I remember the real character's name and not the fucking superhero name.
Nerd.
Fuck you.
That's the epitome of some nerd shit right there. Holy shit.
Anywho, but I mean, they can just say that the sword that Gore used was a different, because they never call it by name.
Oh, they don't? Okay.
No. At least I'm pretty sure they don't. They don't reference the sword having like any kind of significant power in that movie, do they?
I thought it has a sentience. I'm pretty sure it's
fucked with them. And maybe that movie's so shitty.
I know you're trying to block that movie out.
I really
know,
am.
and I'm here to kind of because I noticed the Venom parts of it, so I just here to kind of shove that right back in there a little bit.
But I mean, I'm sure for a fact though they never referred to it as the All Black.
The movies to
I know.
Tease Noel.
Yeah, I know. But I'm pretty sure they never referred to it as the All Black though.
Okay.
And Thor. We're talking about Thor. Love
I mean,
Thunder.
they've done some worse retcons or
yeah. So here the real question is, who would do it worse? The MCU using Gore or Sony using Noel?
Damn, that is a pissing contest.
They're already pissing between Madam Web and the Marvel
contest. Good God. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know if I want to see. Yeah, just publish both of them.
Just to throw some DC love in there, they're competing with themselves between Aquaman 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. It's like I said, man. Last year was an ugly year for superhero movies.
And when was Love and Thunder? That was 22, right?
22. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So that was.
It's been
easy.
It's been an ugly post Endgame.
Yeah. I mean, it's a couple of.
It's been a couple, but. So, as far as Noel goes, yeah, the fact that the symbiote is aware of the hive mind, that says a lot.
They definitely teased a lot.
Yeah, they
teased that, and right after teasing him with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I was fucking hyped as fuck about.
And that accumulated to nothing.
No, at least not of yet.
It was a nothing burger. He sat there at the bar the whole time. And then went back.
I'm so mad about that. I'm like, no, come on, no.
So
you can't just. How? How do you just blue ball people like that?
Right.
How?
So the only thing they did was they left a piece of the little symbiote.
And that little piece of symbiote is going to know who Peter Parker is. Is it going to be the one guy that still knows who Peter Parker is? So what I'm like, that's another thing I wanted to get to is when Secret War happens, I'm really hoping that's what they are building towards.
They have to, man. And they have to make it the most epic shit ever, yeah.
You would think so, but
I know.
Dumber things have happened.
I know. But
how do you use, you think Julia Carpenter is being teased for that? Or do you think they're keeping that separate?
They're not going to use her. And that'd
be cool to see, though.
It would be. I would actually like to see Julia Carpenter, or I would like, the character Julia Carpenter, played by Sydney Sweeney. I would like to see her actually get an opportunity to play Spider-Woman. That would be fucking nice, Sony. If you gave her a chance to actually act.
How?
And be Spider-Woman. So we don't need to talk about that no more.
Okay. Yeah.
But it would be, so earlier you mentioned like the whole thing about, do I like Deadpool, doing the whole retcon where he drives the symbiote crazy. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be a hypocrite. I would actually like it if in Deadpool 3...
That would be insane. Oh, my God. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
I could see some post-credit shenanigans.
Oh, post-credit, yes.
Yeah.
Post-credit, maybe. Mm-hmm. That would be too good, though. That would be...
Yeah, and he could do some corny shit like, because he's working with the TVA, so he could time hop to different planets or dimensions and be like, oh, man, look at this place. It looks like a real battle world here. And just make it super fucking obvious, Oh, what's this thing?
I mean, it would work perfectly.
Yeah.
If he just could get Ryan Reynolds to do it.
It's not. I don't even think like. I think he'd love to do it because, and also I think that Marvel would love to have him in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Because they need to sell that goddamn movie.
Yeah. The problem is if trying to get him in just bits and pieces of it, and not have him overshadow.
I mean, I don't. Do you think he'd have a problem with that?
It's hard to say. Mm.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I don't know Ryan Reynolds personally or what his ego is like, but.
I mean, I'm sure like the comic book geek in him would want to have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
Like as like a James Gunn type thing as well, But he would have to obviously have full control. Yeah. And I don't know like if they want him having full control around the rest of the MCU characters.
Yeah, I don't think so because like that's also not his ambition either.
Yeah.
Whereas like James Gunn kind of had that bigger vision or ambition, So what are the odds that you think they tried to use Noel?
See, I was thinking about that. I don't know.
I guess
definitely, I still think that would still be rushing it, obviously, but I mean. Mm-hmm.
So I guess for those of you who aren't aware, Noel is the symbiote god. He is known as one of the old ones. He's basically an eldritch being in Marvel Comics. He existed before there was. Back when all was just the void, there was Noel. And he loved the void. He loved the nothingness. That's where he lived. That's what he loved. And then it was the Celestials came to existence and they created creation, and now his nothingness has been basically sapped from him. Basically, long story short, he was able to fight back against these abominations, this light and these creations with the creation of his own symbiotes and the magnificent creation of his wonderful sword, the All Black. And he did it while riding a back of probably his best creation, Grendel, the symbiote dragon. That thing is
metal as
I was going to say that it is metal as metal fuck. Everything about Noel is metal.
Metal.
Fucking metal.
Like, he is the epitome of a metal CD cover. Like, you look at him like, Yeah.
And he has a connection to all of the symbiotes because he is their god, their creator. And there is a hive mind, as we mentioned earlier, and they do his bidding. And the whole thing is to latch onto a host, siphon, like the bond to it, siphon its life essence, move on to the next. That is the goal.
So he created the Clintar
Yeah.
planet.
Yep. That he did. So, do I want to see Noel? Noel is so fucking metal that here's the thing. If done right, it would be phenomenal.
He would need his own trilogy.
Yeah.
He's like beyond, like several levels beyond Thanos.
I agree. Yeah.
This, I didn't even know about this, but apparently in King in Black or it might have been Venom. He Sentry shows up and he just fucking kills Sentry without blinking an eye.
And it's a call, and what it is, it's a clever callback. If you go back to the new Avengers run that came out in the mid 2000s by Brian Michael Bendis, one of the very first stories in that is called The Raft. And I think that's what it was called, but it's about some of our heroes in their civilian clothes aboard the prison raft, and there's a breakout. I think the story is called Breakout, actually, but I'll get it right eventually. But during this breakout on the raft, you have all these supervillains who have now broken free, and one of them was fucking Carnage. But who else was on the ship was the Sentry. And the Sentry grabs Carnage, flies him into outer space, and rips him in half effortlessly.
Yeah,
I
remember hearing about that.
And so the scene that you're referring to is just a callback, a clever wink and a nod, and also something to show the people if Sentry could do that to Carnage, look at what Noel just did to Sentry. Yeah,
and then absorbed the void,
which is, I mean, metal as fuck.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
The power scaling is just getting insane.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. Like, it is beyond powerful.
And as metal as he looks, it doesn't do his power justice. Like,
I don't know. He's got a sick look, man.
He does have a sick look, but like you looking at him, like, okay, he looks pretty fucking metal, but he's easily, even with that, you could underestimate how fucking powerful this guy is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that Venom becomes that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it turns into the black, the
King in Black.
The King in Black. That's the fucking word.
So, yeah, but you're right. Like, they would nerf Noel into the dirt. Like, he would be...
Oh, no, yeah. Like, you think the Hulk got nerfed. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, no. Hey, listen, the Hulk, the Infinity Gems, like, those nerfings would be nothing compared to the nerfing Noel would get.
Yeah, there's no question how... Like, you couldn't. I don't see how they could.
Yeah.
Like, because there's nothing that they've shown in a movie yet that could display the kind of power that he is that much more above.
Yeah.
Like, because they haven't shown the Sentry.
Oh, yeah.
Or anything even close to that.
No. The strongest thing in the Venom movies is Venom.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially the Venom movies.
Yeah.
They've only done with other symbiotes. And Carnage.
So, I mean, honestly, man, like, no, he is a universal threat. You know, he's one of those things where it's like, you got to go outside the Sonyverse.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be part of the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm with you on that.
So, yeah, as much as I would love to see an attempt at it, sure as hell, one movie is not going to do justice.
No.
But I don't see them doing a whole... Because to get to Thanos, that took 10 years and 20 movies.
Yeah, you're right. But it doesn't have to take that long, you know, because there were many bosses along the way to Thanos.
As much as I would love it, I don't think that they're going to spend that.
More importantly, I don't trust Sony to do it anyway.
No,
you know,
if they worked with, but I'm saying if they worked with Marvel.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that like Amy Pascal, I'm gonna do the southern old lady shade for you're dumb as fuck. You know, God bless her soul.
God bless her heart.
Yeah, God bless her little heart. You know, she tries her little heart out.
Is that what they meant when they told me that? All those times that I've heard that.
Oh man, you know, like she don't have it, man, and she never has. You know, but
she tries. She
tries something.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean. So, the other thing I want to talk about here is that I think there's a high likelihood that we get. I know I just said I don't want to see any more symbiotes, but I think we might get Toxin.
Yeah, they did tease that. I actually forgot about that.
Yep, Peter Mulligan, that character was in Venom 2.
Mm-hmm. And then they showed him after credit getting.
That's right. They did, yeah.
A symbiote, and because he died, and then he came back to life from the symbiote. Was it an offshoot from Carnage?
Yeah. Toxin is the son of Carnage. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they did that in the movie,
I'm pretty sure. Venom. Yeah, I think it came from Carnage in the movie too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my thing is, are they going to do that with the Orwell's guy? What's his name?
Oh yeah. Orwell Taylor. Yeah.
Orwell.
I mean, like, I think that maybe this is because, like, Toxin, even in the comic books, he's more also of an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's even more has a more morality than Venom does.
So I think that if anything, we'll see Toxin and Venom team up to take on Orwell Taylor and the jury.
That seems like overkill.
I think
Venom by himself is overkill.
I mean, on the comic books, but I think they're probably going to beef the hell up in these. For the jury, you know, they're gonna beef them up a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know how much they could actually do to, like, what, like.
So here's the thing, right? Like in theory, if I had a box of matches and a loudspeaker, I could beat a symbiote.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, but they've also they've gone through that in both movies. And still have found ways to get around that.
I know. And by the way, in case there's any symbiotes out there, I'm just joking. I can't hang with y'all.
He's not. No, get his ass. I'm on the all side.
Oh, fuck you. Goddamn traitor. Oh.
No, because like in the first movie, they literally show Venom leaping out of an inferno.
Yep.
Just like fucking no problems at all.
Mm-hmm. And that is kind of like the problem, right? Like when you run through like your rogue gallery and you run through your weaknesses, then it's like
he's impervious to these two weaknesses. And I'm like, no, it's
and
you run into your Superman problem.
Yeah, and then it's like, so they're going back to the well of lethal protectors, and they're using like the sub enemies, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like the jury and Orwell Taylor, like they're fine, you know, but they're not like, oh man.
Yeah.
They're not like Carnage or even Riot.
No.
You know?
No, it's not even close.
Yeah. So they're really gonna have to beef them up and make them seem like a cool threat, you know. Like, I mean, they gotta look as cool as like the fucking Mandalorians flying around, you know. They gotta look cool as shit.
I mean, it'd definitely be neat to see in theaters what they do, and hopefully they kind of stay somewhat close to the comic look. Without just ripping off Iron Man.
I know, without just ripping off Iron Man. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's what they are.
That's what they are, yeah.
Do you think they'll reference Stark Tech if they do it?
Not, I mean, they probably have to pay for that, so probably not.
Damn.
Yep.
How much was it? How much would it be just to mention?
Just to
to fucking say it.
Well, before the Fox
or a logo,
before the Fox and Disney merger, how much would it have costed Disney to say they were a mutant?
Yeah.
too damn much.
Apparently too damn much. Not worth it just to say one word. Yeah. They just came up with a whole different thing and tried to get rid of him in the comics.
Yeah.
All over. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess they could avoid it if they really wanted to, but...
So really quickly here, for those of you who aren't familiar, the character Peter Mulligan, who was actually in Venom 2, he is a detective in the comic books, and long story short, he gets bonded with the symbiote offspring of Carnage. And the problem is, Eddie wants to protect this symbiote and carry on his lineage because Carnage is the son of Venom. Mm-hmm. And so Venom wants to kind of protect and nurture this new symbiote. Carnage wants to kill it. The crazy thing about this is Carnage may have the right idea because the way that it works with like this symbiote lore, and I don't know how well this holds up, but like
the 1,000th,
the 1,000th symbiote,
Carnage.
It's supposed to be like Broly level strong, you know, and so like the 1,000th symbiote is, and this one is like number 1,000 because they're, I guess, remnants of a hive mind. Maybe that's how he knows.
Yeah, and Venom's like 998.
8. Yeah, and also each one is supposed to be stronger than the last, like in terms of offspring. So that's why Carnage is stronger than Venom, and that's why Toxin is stronger than Carnage. Carnage can't have that shit, so Carnage wants to kill Toxin.
No, he has to be there can only be one.
Right.
And I think in the comics, if I remember right, I haven't read them, but Venom initially wants to protect, but then he realizes that he is going to be that much more powerful. And then he, I think, unfortunately, teams up with Carnage to try to get him at one point.
I don't remember
maybe
that
for
part.
a short time.
That could have happened, but I don't remember that. What I remember is Toxin and Venom teaming up to fight Carnage.
Okay.
Because at first Toxin the symbiote itself is still very much an infant.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have a whole lot of strength at first. He's got to grow up, basically. And the reason why Toxin doesn't turn out to be like a fucking psychopath like his dad, Carnage, is because Peter Mulligan is a good guy. You know, he's a detective. You know, he's got a wife who's pregnant, and I think like during the issue she gives birth, you know, to their child. And so like he tries to instill a lot of his good nature into the infant symbiote as is bonded to him, you know. So yeah, he'll probably be in this movie a good bit.
So when do you think we'll get a teaser for
Venom 3? Let's see. I will say either May or June. We'll probably get the first.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they go with. Hopefully they don't pull another bullshit that they do with Madam Web and have some shit that's only in there for 2 fucking seconds. And then you expecting this whole thing in there.
So I had some interesting kind of notes here about the people working on Venom 2. So let's see if I can find it here.
Venom 3?
I'm sorry, yeah, Venom 3. Yeah, so the first 2 Venom movies were directed by Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Of course, Andy Serkis, the famed motion capture actor.
Did he direct the first one? I thought it was just the second one.
Was it just the second one?
I think a different guy did
the first one. I'll double check here. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, Ruben Fleischer directed the first one. Andy Serkis directed the second one.
I remember Andy Serkis being at Dragon Con, and I was going to get him to sign a copy of Venom 2.
Oh, hell
of all the things he
can sign. Nothing Smeagol related.
No Lord of the Rings, no Planet of the Apes.
No Planet of the Apes.
Fuck all that noise. No, Venom 2.
But yes, Ruben Fleischer directed the first one. Andy Serkis directed the second one. And a person by the name of Kelly Marshall is directing the third one. Kelly Marshall, she also helped write the screenplay for the first 2 Venom movies.
Okay.
And she also helped write the screenplay for one of your favorite movies, 50 Shades of Grey.
Let me tell you, I can't get enough of that.
I know you can't.
Did she really?
She did, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I didn't make that up.
Oh, that's going to be... It's gonna be some weird shit in that movie.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, so she is the one directing Venom, and not only is she directing Venom 3, this is her first movie that she's directing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
and yeah, her writing credits includes 50 Shades of Grey, Venom, Venom 2, and the upcoming third film. Yeah. Right. So let me put something into perspective for you, Brendon, and you can do with this metaphor what you will. Okay. So are you familiar with Simon Kinberg?
It sounds familiar.
He worked a lot on the Fox X-Men franchise.
Okay.
And he was a writer, and he wrote some of my favorite X-Men movies, including Days of Future Past.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So like he had a few misses in there, but for the most part, like his writing credentials were strong. And he had his directorial debut with Dark Phoenix.
Okay, I think I vaguely remember you talking about this at one point as well.
Yep.
Oh.
So he had good movies on his writing resume.
Just because you can write don't mean you can direct.
Yeah, and his directorial debut ended up being Dark Phoenix. Kelly Marcel here, her writing credits are what they are, and her
I like the way you worded that. They are what they are. Their writing credits. I don't know who did the writing for the banter between Eddie and Venom. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Tom Hardy himself also did a lot of it as well.
So you think it was ad-lib?
Well, some of it was probably ad-lib, but I mean, he also helped write some of this too.
See, that's my main thing that I like about those movies because it keeps the fun, like the tone.
Things got weird in the second one though.
It did. It was like they had a breakup.
It was fucking
and then weird. They start fighting each other.
Yeah.
Did they ever try to fight each other in the comics at all?
I mean,
they didn't get to that point. I know they had their disagreements.
Yeah.
But they start fighting each other like a toxic couple. Which they are a toxic couple.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. One thing that really like just weirded me out and disappointed me about Venom 2, besides the obvious shit that we talked about, was the symbiote leaves Eddie, and then
I didn't like that shit either.
Yeah, and then it goes onto someone else and becomes the exact same thing.
Yes, I'm like, I did not like. Why do you look the same, bro?
Right.
The whole so the continuity, and I guess putting too much thought into it because there's more thought than they fucking put into it. Trust me, I have my criticisms of these movies. That's a lot of things that bothered me about the second one. Is that when what's her name, his ex-wife, gets the symbiote, she turns into She-Venom.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
she turns into a very cool-looking She-Venom.
Yeah,
that's pretty close to the comics.
Yeah,
she has the face and but lady body.
Jesus Christ, Brendon. The lady body?
The lady body. But she doesn't look hulked out.
It's the most dude bro shit that's ever been said on this podcast.
I didn't know what else to say. Like,
the lady body. Jesus Christ.
Well, what I meant was that it's different than the hulked out version that he turns into with just Eddie. And then apparently in Venom 2, even though he not infects, but latches on to a couple female people, that he still looks like a hulked out 7.5 foot tall.
Yeah, you're right.
A couple of them were women.
Yeah.
And he still looks the same. And I'm like, and he's killing people left and right.
Oh, yeah.
Just, which I didn't like. The whole point is that he's kind of trying to just kill people randomly. And I'm like, this kind of goes back to the whole... Yeah,
they really lost the plot with the second one.
As funny as... it was all for a gag.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It was cool seeing Venom in, glow-in-the-dark streamers. That was cool. I'm all for the bit.
Venom does have some comedic value. I mean, even in Lethal Protectors, we see a bit of that dark humor.
My favorite comic panel ever is Venom standing in front of an old lady
who just saved,
just saved and just murdered somebody.
Yes.
He just ate someone, and he has her little purse in front of him, and he's just patting her on the head, and she's losing her fucking mind.
Oh man, I just looked at that panel earlier when I was flipping through the pages.
That is my favorite panel ever in comics.
It's also like the dialogue. Like I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. I don't remember it verbatim, but she's like, You saved me? And he's like, correct, madame.
Yes, correct, madame. He doesn't even have the and he's trying to be a hero, so he doesn't have his Eddie face out, which would probably be even more terrifying, probably, to her.
Jesus. I don't think Eddie's that ugly.
Full,
it's full Venom.
Bagley Venom at that. So he's got these fucking giant teeth.
Right.
And tongue out.
Yeah. It looks like a fucking demon,
Just like this fucking giant mongoloid fucking just out of a nightmare. And
right.
It's just like,
just murdered this purse snatcher,
Yeah, it's not even a fucking real bad guy. It's just this thief guy, which, I mean, and then fuck around, find out, yes.
And then like Venom swings away, patting himself on the back. Yeah. We did good.
Like that whole tone is why I love. And they kept that through Venom 1 and through Venom 2, even though they got to go for a little far with it in Venom 2, where it doesn't make sense.
I don't think they ever quite went as dark, though, in the movies.
No.
Because, like...
PG-13.
PG-13, and also, how many innocent people get murdered in the Venom movies, Yeah. It's not that many.
I mean, he's the police force that tries to... Does he ever kill any of those guys?
He's don't about know, to. But it's always different, right? In comic books and movies, when like authority figures are attacking the good guy, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they did with the Hulk. They never see the Hulk kill anybody either.
Which I've always called bullshit.
Yeah,
on that.
Like
I don't know if you ever read this, but actually in the World War Hulk omnibus, it was Amadeus Cho, that character. He's like one of the smartest people in Marvel Comics or whatever. He points out to Bruce Banner that like the Hulk on the subconscious level is extremely intelligent, and he calculates things so that people never die. And I'm like, this is some of the dumbest shit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What the fuck?
Some of the dumbest shit.
What is that fucking pedal back bullshit?
Oh
come on, don't be a coward about
it. Yeah. Let the Hulk. I mean, if the Hulk never killed anyone, then why did they shoot his ass out into space in the first place?
For real, like it might have been not malicious,
right? It wasn't maybe not intentional.
He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
he's going on a rampage.
Yeah, like
that's kind of the point of a rampage. Is like shit happens,
right?
That like if you can't have your anti-hero or your without consequences. Mm-hmm. It's like the whole thing with Man of Steel, like. Superman can't save everybody,
right?
Some people are gonna die.
Yeah, like okay, so let me tell you. So there's a Kryptonian on Earth, and then he just discovers his powers fully, and then there's a trained general Kryptonian that comes down to Earth, and you don't think there's gonna be any fucking casuals?
No, not at all.
Why did he take the fight somewhere else? He was getting drugged.
Just one guy got his legs smashed. That's it. That's all that happened. And Bruce Wayne saved the little girl from dying.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
Yeah. No. There's no consequences.
And Flash saved a couple people doing whatever the fuck he was doing.
Oh fuck.
I get they want these characters to be redeemable. They don't want any unredeemable qualities. But the whole point is that they do come back from that. Shit, look at Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest heels of all time.
They find a way to somewhat, even though that's why I don't really like Revenge of the Sith. That's a whole nother. It's like they have a scene where he's kind of unredeemable. He just kills a bunch of little kids.
Yeah,
that you can't really come back from that as much as they
true.
Do try in Return of the Jedi, and that kind of ruins Return of the Jedi.
I won't say it ruins it, but it makes you wonder, man. Denver. Yeah. It's
like you just made your big bad guy just go like
maybe all of those
a child killing asshole that's a coward,
right?
Well,
maybe all those little kids are going to grow up to be very, very bad Siths.
That's what we're going with.
That's what we're going with. Yeah. So there is another. Very interesting theory going around here, and I will go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. The person who the place that cited this theory also theorized several other things for different movies, most of which it got pretty accurate. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled on this potential...
I don't want to be spoiled.
Too bad.
Oh, damn it.
If you guys want to be potentially spoiled on what could or could not end up being in this movie, then take a breather.
I want to go on cold.
But I mean, honestly, like the shit that we've been talking about is for sure going to be in the movie. Like Orwell Taylor and the jury. So you're too late already.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah,
I spoiled myself. Shit.
But this theory is a little bit more juicy.
Really?
Yeah.
Juicy.
I don't know if I think it's bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I hope it's not true.
Oh no.
But it sounds bad enough to be true.
Oh.
For whatever reason, Venom, Eddie and the symbiote, they will have to work together, probably with Toxin or someone else, to protect a young 10-year-old Peter Parker from bad forces out there. Yeah.
How? So they're saying that. Did they ever put a year on the other two movies?
I'm not sure. I'm sure, like with cell phone usage, they date themselves.
Yeah. Like. So how? So they're gonna. This theory is gonna preference them putting this as a prequel.
Well, the working theory behind the theory right now is that because Venom has been in the MCU and because of the hive mind, he's aware of Peter. And so at first the thought process is we have to stop this kid because he's going to be the one to kill us.
What? Mm-hmm. But Peter never kills.
I know.
What?
I'm aware.
That's aware. Kind of the point.
But see, the reason why I don't believe this is because that bleeds into the Madam Web movie.
That's what my next question was. Are they trying to tie this into fucking Madam Web? Even though I get it, it's the Sony Spider-Verse thing. Even though fucking no Spider-Man.
Right. All of these Spider-Man movies, goddamn Spider-Man.
Well, he shows up on a wall in Morbius.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
They just fucking tease the shit out of some shit. So
this is not Sony's first time blue balling us, all right?
It's their hobby. It's their favorite fucking hobby, and I'm tired of it, damn it. That's why the only ones that I stick to are the Venom ones. I'm at least I'm getting the character that I want, and there's Venom in the movie. As much as they do dumb shit with him,
which they do love to do that.
I love to do dumb shit.
Yeah, so I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. I hope that's not true. Listen, if Peter's in the movie, he needs to be played by Andrew Garfield, who was not 10 years old.
No, he's not. Definitely not 10 years old.
Yeah. So
at about 30 years.
Yeah. I think that would definitely be the better approach. So now, the thing about this, let's say they do put Spider-Man in the movie. I don't care if he overshadows Venom.
No,
I just want him to be a good movie.
To be honest, I really don't think you can overshadow Venom because he's that popular of a character.
If you put Spider-Man in it, he will overshadow Venom.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Fucking Spider-Man. Piece of shit. Fuck you, Spider-Man.
But my question is it too late to make the character Venom what he needs to be?
I don't think so.
So you think that they can? Is it possible to reverse engineer this thing and make it work? I don't know.
I think that's what they're going to try to do with the MCU version. Maybe if they get to that point.
I think with the MCU version, they'd be more straightforward.
See, that's the thing. They're going to end up with two continuities that are connected in the same, like, because you have Venom 3 that's about to come out, and that's going to be the same Venom that's the Tom Hardy Venom, obviously. Yep. And then possibly whenever they do Secret Wars, you're going to get Black Suit Spider-Man from that, and that's possibly going to be a different version of the symbiote and Venom. If they even come out with a, like, even if they do, like, that's my thing, is like, are they going to do Eddie Brock Venom? Because there's no Eddie Brock in the Tom Holland.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But he hadn't even gotten the job at the Daily Bugle yet.
Yeah. Which is like...
Daily Planet, I should say.
I've had my gripes about the Tom Holland Spider-Man because I don't really like his... And that's... I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't like that they didn't have a Mary Jane. They didn't have...
like an MJ.
They had MJ, but it wasn't Mary Jane.
It wasn't Mary Jane Watson.
Fucking Michelle Jones, which...
Yeah,
who the fuck is Michelle Jones?
It was a weird twist. I give you that.
And then there's Ned, which he is in the comics.
Well, that was Ned, like combined with Ganke from the Miles Morales comic books.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm not too familiar with Miles' friends. But there's no Harry Osborn, which I get. Like, you're trying to avoid initially the whole Goblin thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is like, I think that they've got time now. They got a whole nother trilogy,
And then they're kind of doing a soft reboot of his whole...
and it was needed,
Yeah.
That was, for me, was one of my favorite things about No Way Home was that they put him at base level, which he was never at.
So I do think that they could possibly go back, do a proper origin story for Venom now.
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm saying.
He just, like, he didn't show up from space per se, but yeah, he is in this
they've got two ways to go about it. He can get the suit from Battleworld, or he can get the suit from the symbiote left behind.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is that, like, are they even going to have Battleworld in Secret Wars, or
why wouldn't they? It's not going to be on Earth.
I have no idea what they could possibly do. They've changed up a lot of things, and they've fucked up a lot of things.
They're going to have Battleworld.
Are they, though?
Listen.
Are they?
There's not a lot that I'm asking for them to do in Secret Wars. They don't have to have the same teams or anything like that, but you have to have Battleworld.
We don't even have Dr. Doom yet, sir.
Okay, all right.
There's no Doctor Doom. There's no Beyonder. There's no...
You don't have to introduce the Beyonder until Secret Wars.
There's no Galactus. There's no even Fantastic Four yet.
They're coming.
I'm just... like, there's a lot to get through just to get to Battleworld that, like...
I just need it to be Secret Wars and have the integrity of it. I don't need it to be exactly what the pages were. I just need it to understand what the story was about. As a matter of fact, I'll do one further. Like it can.
Do you think it could be on Earth?
No. What sense? I don't think that makes any sense, really.
Have it?
It has to be on a different planet because they got to bring in heroes from other places.
Fair.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. As superhero homie supreme Q, I give Marvel permission.
Oh
yeah, I give them permission to have more freeway with the Secret Wars movie. Reason being, the Secret Wars comic book
was made to sell toys.
It was made to sell toys. That was the primary purpose of it.
And it just turned into an iconic story.
Yeah, because it was the first major Marvel crossover, So it over succeeded,
There's a lot that they could do with it. But are they, like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot that they could also fuck up.
Well, yeah. But I think they understand the pressure's on, so I think the chances are better that they get it right than wrong.
I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and I'm hoping that. And you know what I'm hoping for. I'm waiting for just to get to Venom. Like it all goes back to getting. I want my boy in the MCU, and I never got it really with.
I'll also tell you this. I don't think we'll see Venom in the MCU until Tom Hardy is done.
My other concern is it going to be Eddie Brock Venom? They have a Flash Thompson.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
In name,
the only Flash Thompson they have is Joe Manganiello.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a good Flash Thompson.
Not only that.
Oh, no. And the other guy that played Flash.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield had a Flash Thompson, too.
Yes.
But Joe Manganiello, he came out recently to say he would love to play Agent Venom. And I was like, let's fucking go. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I was like, let's fucking go.
If we can get that, I would be fine with Eddie Brock, even though... do you need an Eddie Brock Venom before you need Flash Thompson Venom?
In this case, I would actually say no, because we've gotten 3 movies with a version of Eddie Brock.
Yeah, but doesn't it tie back to his origin story a bit? Like,
I mean,
do you think it's important to his origin story that
not
the
nearly
be with Eddie Brock before Flash?
Not nearly as important. Not for Eddie. I mean, not for Flash.
I don't want that. I don't want the Flash. I mean, nothing against that guy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I mean, if you think about it, it's like a better version of Avatar. It's what he's doing. He's a wounded war veteran.
Yeah.
All right. Who has to use this avatar or this symbiote to get back out there on the field. I mean, I've always really loved the concept.
Oh yeah, I love Agent Venom as a character in that concept, and as a redeemable bully and anti-hero.
Here's a fun fact for you: in Donny Cates' Venom, it's revealed that the symbiote preferred Flash over Eddie, and Eddie knows it. Yeah, that's got a sting, right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Donnie. I can't. No.
I mean, it makes sense. Flash Thompson was a better person.
But Eddie's the OG. Oh, come on.
Hey, listen. Do you want to fuck the person who you lost your virginity to forever? Or what about the one that was actually like the best laid? Yeah.
The new hot. This is who I'm in love with.
Right.
That's so fucked up. He didn't need to put that in there. Oh, that hurts for me.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No,
yeah.
I mean, I love Flash Thompson, but Eddie all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, well, I hate to say this because it sounds evil, but I'm glad that Flash is still dead,
Oh, in the comics.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did he die in the movie?
No, in the comics, yeah.
Actually, in the
what?
News, in the newest comics.
What? No.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I don't know details. There's a thing going on currently, or going to happen, called Venom Wars.
For fuck's sake.
I was going to get to that. I was kind of like, I was trying to find a way to work my way into this. But here we are. Yes, there's going to be a story called Venom Wars currently. And what it is Eddie Venom, and he's going to have a team of different symbiotes from past and present and I guess future maybe, and his son Dylan is going to be Venom as well, and he's going to have his team of symbiotes and different kinds of characters from the past.
I swear to God, there's only like 5 good writers at Marvel right now. They maybe have 5 good writers right now. God, everything else is just regurgitated dribble. Fuck. So, what's a famous story that got us sales before? Secret Wars? Let's fucking put a spin on it. Let's have 11,000 Sabretooths fight Wolverine.
They look exactly the same as Venom. Like, they look identical. They don't look like it's OG Venom versus OG Venom. And it's hard to tell which one is Dylan, which one is Eddie.
I hate it. I mean, even though I haven't read it, I don't know anything about it.
And currently, randomly enough, in the comics, he's studying under Kang.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how current you are after King in Black.
Because honestly, like I pick and choose what things I want to read now because most things I'll just be nice. Most things just are not for me in terms of current comic books.
Did you read anything after King in Black?
After Donny Cates' run, no.
No. Okay. No. Probably wanted to keep it that way.
I do. I plan on it. It's not canon if I don't read it.
Yeah. If I don't know about it, then it's not happening. If I don't see it, it didn't happen.
Right.
He's looking weird in the new comics. He looks like kind of a Jack Spider-Man with a weird... and then at one point, he fights Bedlam and gets like 4 arms because he absorbs Bedlam. Yeah.
I don't need to hear any more about this. What you have any closing thoughts or theories or wants for Venom 3?
You know what they should introduce? Rakram.
Who is that?
That is the demon from another dimension.
No, they shouldn't. All right, well
that is obsessed with Peter Parker. I might have said his name wrong. It's Parker backwards. So
for fuck's sake,
however you say it. And then he gets a symbiote and turns into, and I think it's a offshoot of the Venom.
Is it Venom spelled backwards?
No, he still stays as Rakram. Rekrap. That's it. Rekrap. I don't know why I said Rekram. Rekrap. And I don't know if you've seen what he looks like, but he looks like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, but he has a mouth on his, like, the mask, but it doesn't look like Venom. He just looks like a very shit-eating grin mouth. And he's, like, overly jacked.
All right.
I'm like, I want this character in the movie. I want this movie character.
You know what, Brendon? Maybe you should watch Madam Web and the Marvels. Those might be right up your fucking alley.
No. I'm good. I'm good on that. That's taking a little too far.
All right. Well, to bring this back around to Venom 3, I think that the best course of action. I mean, honestly, if it were me, I would shelve Toxin. And, like, the role that they wanted to use Toxin for, which is, like, probably to team up with Eddie, I would replace that with Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. You can still have Orwell, Taylor, and the Jury in there. I don't know if they want to add another villain in there, too, or if things would get too crowded, you know. The problem is, if you add another villain, I don't know who it would be. The perfect villain, obviously, would be Carnage if they were going to do a Spider-Man and Venom team-up. But for obvious reasons, they can't do that.
Yeah. They would get... they got a little ahead of themselves.
Everybody gets one.
Because he lost
no, okay, you're losing it now.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Right. I just want to make sure.
Yep, I'm with you. But in terms of what I think this movie would do, if I'm being completely realistic here, I don't think that they will put Peter Parker in this movie at all.
No, it makes too much sense.
It does. Even the ones they have the rights to, they won't put Peter in this at all. I think that I think that this will be overall a fine movie. I think we'll get the jury as, and I think that I'll like the fact that there's something new for Venom to fight instead of another symbiote.
They got to do something because they've already kind of blew their load.
Yeah.
Other than Null, and
but Null
that's
is
not feasible.
Yeah, Null is way too much. Even if they nerf him, it just wouldn't.
There's only so much nerfing you can do.
Yeah. So that doesn't really work either. Like, the only other thing I can think of is if they want to use other members of Spider-Man's rogue gallery, they could. If Eddie wants to go to New York and he runs into a rogue Spider-Man, I mean, that's...
I would love to see it, but it's just, I don't want to get my hopes up.
I know.
It's just I
well,
don't.
It's not only that is right. It's the fact that, man, I don't just want to see it, but I will want it to be good.
Yeah.
If they did it,
and they would have to even turn the damn title of the movie and pull like a Deadpool Wolverine type thing. It would have to be Venom and Spider-Man, or Spider-Man and Venom. It's a Venom movie.
In closing, I'll just say this, right? I think that, looking at like the first two movies here, go ahead and pull it up here. But the what the budgets were versus what they made were very interesting.
Really?
Yes, because Venom 1 had a budget of about $116 million. And it made $856 million. Yeah. So it was.
I knew it came somewhat close to $1 billion.
Yeah, $856 million off of a $116 million budget. That's good. That's really good. Fucking good. I mean, it says that critics were negative towards it, but I mean, it made fucking money. It definitely made more than enough money to warrant a sequel. The sequel had a budget of $110 million. The box office on it was $507 million.
So not as good as the first one.
Not as good as the first one.
But, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Good. Now, but that is still a very noticeable drop. Now, to climb back there, it can be done, but... they're gonna have to really put in some effort because, like, the reason why people went to go see the first one was solely based off of the popularity of Venom.
Because it's a popular character.
Yep. And the reason why I think people didn't really go see the second one like that is because why should they?
Yeah.
Like
as much as I liked it, a lot of people did not like the first one.
It's almost like if you thoroughly enjoyed the first one, then you'll probably have a good time with the second one. Yeah. But if you thought that the first one was okay or meh, or disappointing, then you probably thought the same thing about the sequel. But I think that Venom 3 here's the thing, it can be a good movie. It absolutely can be.
I just wish they would stick with the same director.
Well,
I mean, it's going to be someone that definitely knows continuity and the lore of the other two movies because she worked on the other two.
Yeah. But she worked on the other two, and I mean, she's still working with Tom Hardy, who also helped write, the movies as well. I mean, I think it's just good that I think if anything, they need a new set of eyes on these movies to kind of bring it back to a place that makes this more palatable and something that's overall more enjoyable. They need to add depths and layers to Eddie, and they need to make their relationship with the symbiote be something deeper, like something more than just mindless bickering with jokes sprinkled in between the two.
Yeah. As much as I enjoy it, it would be nice to get something a little bit more.
And they need to get, I mean, I hate to say it, they need to get a little bit more serious with it. I think they've gone too buddy cop-ish, and it's just...
I love the buddy cop. I don't think they should leave out the buddy cop.
They shouldn't leave it out, but they should. You can keep the buddy cop in and still be more serious. Yeah.
Lethal Weapon. There's some serious moments in Lethal Weapon.
Sure.
Yeah. And they've made 4 movies off of it. And,
Yeah.
They were all pretty good from what I remember.
So yeah, there are ways to make it better, but I mean, like, for example, I'll use one more example, then we get out of here. But like, look at Wolverine and like his first solo movie. He was the same character he was in all his previous appearances. And then look at him in Logan. They added depths to the character. They added layers to the character. It was a smaller scale. It wasn't about saving the fucking world, but it felt bigger than anything else he had ever done in his other solo movies.
It felt deeper.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Venom 3 needs to be fucking Logan level, deep or,
that would be
or sad.
Interesting.
Yeah. But he's got, I mean, hell, you read that Donny Cates stuff, they got the material for it. But I'm not saying it needs to be anything like that, but they do need to try to find more nuance in the character to make people interested again.
Do you think that they could possibly introduce his son?
I was thinking about that. They could bring in Dylan, but the pessimist in me says he will just be a plot device, not a character.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Track record shows that would be the case.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the faith that I have for them to actually make some actual deep decisions around the character is not there. Unfortunately,
no, same. Unfortunately. Well, we've been here now for about 2.5 hours.
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Wow.
2.5 hours, yeah.
Holy shit.
Fucking time flies when we talk about comic books and shit.
Nerding out and shit.
Nerding the hell out over here. So,
holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we're going to wrap this one up. But, Brendon, thank you again, man, for being here.
Not a problem.
Yeah. This has been
always fun.
It's been hella fun. And we'll have to, for sure have you on the episodes in between now and Venom 3, but for sure.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I know. Get the fuck away.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
You can come back if Venom 3 is shitty. If it's good, you can't. If it's good, you can't come on.
No. You ain't coming back. No. Fuck off.
Oh man, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely gotta have you back on here more often, and yeah. But this was fun, man. So thank you for being on here for
Not
this.
problem. I always have a blast.
Yes, this Venomnibus size episode.
I still love that name.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they fucked up it on the cover.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be all for now, but homies, thank you guys again for listening in. If you guys have any kind of questions, comments, gifts, threats, foods, or supplies, then hit us up at superherohomies@gmail.com or any of the social media outlets. Believe it or not, I'm always active, live, and listening. But until then, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Brendon.
You got it right.
Yeah!
Holy shit.